Hi everyone, my name is Brittany Brodziski, presenting virtually from Green Bay, Wisconsin. I am currently working at Nature's Way as a QC analytical supervisor. I have been with the company for over 12 years, initially starting as a chemist. Currently, my primary areas of focus include dietary supplement ingredient identification. This includes botanical ID by HPTLC and DNA, as well as other dietary ingredients by FTIR. I also oversee minerals potency testing by ICP, OES, and MS, and heavy metals contaminant testing by ICP, MS. Nature's Way, not to be confused with Nature Made, is a manufacturer of dietary supplements and vitamins. We are headquartered in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and are made up of approximately 700 employees throughout our different facilities. We have been in the industry for over 50 years. Most recently, our quality control lab received ISO 17025 2017 accreditation, which goes hand in hand with the company's strong focus on quality. Our quality team was put to work the last couple of years due to this tiny dark purple berry commonly known as elderberry. Also known by its Latin name Sambucus nigra, this specific berry is native to Europe. Several parts of the plant have been used in traditional medicine and have been referred to as a complete medicinal chest, with uses such as an expectorant for coughs and as a diuretic and violent purgative. The berries in particular are rich in vitamins A and C. They were traditionally made into wines and syrups taken to prevent winter colds. Some other species known to be used medicinally include American elder, blue elder, and Williams elder. However, our internal specification is European elder, Sambucus nigra fruit only. We are part of a GMP manufacturing environment with an internal policy that each batch of raw material received in-house must have an ID method. The ultimate goal, do they meet our specifications? We have a high volume of a variety of materials with deadlines to meet, which does not always allow for method deviations or extensive research and method development opportunities. For this reason, we rely heavily on monographs and other reputable resources to provide guidance. We use HPTLC to identify a majority of our purchased botanical raw material powders and extracts. In the case of elderberry, our method is quite common, using flavonoid mobile phase and NP derivatizing reagent. The mobile phase composition is just slightly modified from that of HPTLC association and USP methods for efficiency's sake on our part, as many of our raw materials are ID'd by their flavonoid profiles and use the same mobile phase. The images shown here are typical to Sambucus nigra fruit and flower. Per USP monograph, Sambucus nigra fruit shows a yellow and blue zone corresponding to rutin and chlorogenic acid, respectively, noted by the orange bracket. Multiple blue or purple zones below rutin are also present. These are cyanidin derivatives indicated by the blue bracket. In addition, some common adulteration characteristics per USP and HPTLC Association's elderflower method. There are additional prominent zones present in the upper third of the chromatogram, and adulterants also tend to lack cyanidin derivatives or the purple zones below rutin. Unfortunately, finding conforming materials became more difficult in recent years. A strong consumer focus on the immune system drastically increased due to obvious reasons. Any and all products containing zinc, vitamin D3, and most importantly elderberry, for the sake of this presentation, were flying off the shelves. In turn, we are running out of elderberry raw material stock to manufacture our elderberry products. Our typical vendor couldn't meet all purchase orders needed, whether that was due to lack of inventory, time of harvest, etc. So we had to start sourcing elderberry raw materials elsewhere. Due to the high demand, suppliers were hoping to take advantage of the elderberry trend, making claims as necessary, some not always correct. And just as a side note, we attempted to source approximately 40 different elderberry raw materials and extracts. They ranged in cost from $12.50 all the way up to $384 per kilo. As we started to source the new raw materials, not all were conforming to our specifications. They looked weird, but why? We needed to start exploring what these materials could be, what were the potential adulterants, and how can we distinguish from those adulterants. Unfortunately, this did not come easy. The list of potential adulterants was extensive, with many being other cyanidin-containing fruits or closely related species. And being that this adulteration was somewhat new, publications did not always contain the most relevant information. So we had to step away from the status quo and evaluate our data differently, as well as reach out to others in industry for help. Here's a great example. Dr. Reich from CAMAG provided profiles for closely related species, in which case we were not always able to procure. Note the slightly different flavonoid profiles between species under derivatized UV-366 and the cyanidin profiles under derivatized white light. These images, also provided by Dr. Reich, are of potential adulterants as well. Note that most monographs currently use derivatized images for the acceptance criteria. However, by taking advantage of all images that are taken when performing HPTLC, such as prior to derivatization, they may show additional differentiating characteristics. Here's a collection of samples we have received at Nature's Way using the image comparison viewer feature within VisionCats. This is a great way to provide a visual to analyze the variation of what all are claiming to be Sambucus nigra fruit. It becomes an internal library that can be added to continuously. Looking at the last few samples on this slide, more specifically tracks 7 through 9 and 12, they share a similar profile not consistent with elderberry, with one prominent purple zone at the position of cyanidin and a pink zone above. As we continued researching, procuring references, and sharing information, it was apparent that these samples were consistent with black rice. While elderberry and black rice do contain cyanidin 3-O-glucoside, if the pink zone is present, this is indicative of the presence of black rice. This is confirmed by findings found by CAMAG as well shown in the previous slide. Taking one of the samples that is characteristic of black rice from the previous slide, here's another really great feature that we just don't use enough. Profiles can be generated from the original plate images and can provide similar information to that of an HPLC profile. Take this one step further and you can assign the references with a known concentration, and the VisionCat software will integrate the assigned peak and provide a concentration for that sample, or multiple samples. This could help provide a relative potency of cyanidin compounds. For example, that helps determine quality of a given elderberry extract. This is extremely beneficial, especially if HPLC is not readily available for your laboratory and reduces the number of resources required. As proven from an unexpected COVID outbreak, a market surge in combination with supply shortages and higher raw material costs, this creates the perfect opportunity for fraudulent suppliers to take advantage. Elderberry is just one example, but it proves why we must remain vigilant in our methodology and technical knowledge, constantly seeking out ways to improve or better utilize the instruments and methods we have. Reaching out to colleagues and resources for these conversations to start, and maybe eventually new monographs or publications will result from. In this particular case, USP is now working to revise the current extract monograph to create a suite of monographs that encompass different types of elderberry products, such as different types of liquid extracts, juices, etc. This is exciting news and very helpful as we continue to hold vendors accountable in the QC world. I thank you all for your time. If you would like to read more about elderberry adulteration in general, there is a feature in one of ABC's herbalgrams. Should you have any questions or just want to chat, my contact information is on this slide. I will also be in the Q&A session. I look forward to virtually meeting you.